Let's get okay. Welcome everyone to this free Zoom masterclass. My name is Amy Shine. A lot of you know me already. And tonight's call is back to wholeness with your body, nourishing your body. So what is back to wholeness? So I talked about in the description of this class that your body is this organism. It's this multifaceted organism that requires energy and requires so much, right? Sorry guys, people are just trying to jump on and I don't have anyone here with me today, so I'm logging everyone on. So your body is this multifaceted organism, and wholeness with your body is really looking at how everything's included. Nothing is excluded. So one of the things I have been looking at, oh, Eliana, you're so sweet. I'm going to make you co-host. Thank you. Oh, I love you. So aren't people amazing? Thank you. So looking at your body, what I've started to realize lately is how many things I had excluded from my life, how many things I had excluded from what I would choose or what I would allow my body to choose. So you're looking like your body, okay, so you embody here, right? When you come here, you get a body, you embody, you have a body. So, but you also have a mind. You have a mind that thinks all the time and feels and and then you have all these like emotions, and then you also have your energetic bodies. So you have like your physical body, which is like, okay, this is my arm, this is my physical body, and then I have my energetic bodies. And so your energetic bodies are like your subtle bodies. So they're like your auric bodies, your etheric bodies, your light bodies, and all these other bodies that you might not even comprehend you have. And so when we're looking at wholeness with our body, we're really looking at all our bodies, not just the physical. And so we also have to take care of ourselves physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, environmentally, nutritionally, and probably lots more added on. And so this year has been a really hard year for me. I've been through a lot, and it's also been really incredible. And I left my marriage, my 7-year marriage, broke up. And so when I left that relationship, I really got, okay, I want to get really strong. As in, I want to get really strong with me. And that was physically, I wanted to get physically strong, but also mentally strong, emotionally strong, sexually strong. Like I wanted to take my power back in every avenue in every part of my world. And so began this whole kind of journey of detoxing a lot of things that no longer served me, and then choosing things that were going to assist me. But in choosing things, I also got to see how many things I had excluded from my life. So just like a very small example would be, for years, I'd asked my body what movement did my body require? And I often saw myself like with weights and weight training. And I had a point of view, I didn't like weights. I didn't like going to the gym. And so I had excluded that from my world. And when my body kept showing me this, I was like, okay, so what would it take to have this, but in a way that's fun for me? And once I opened up to, well, number one, once I let go of my judgments of weights and weight training and let go of my judgments of the gym, then I opened up to receiving a class where I got to do weights, but it was fun for me. And it was a fun class. So it's like, how many things have you, the minute you say, I like this and I don't like this, you have excluded from your world. So there's so many things in our world that we go, okay, I like yoga, I don't like weight training. And then if you go to ask your body a question like, body, what movement will energize us today? You can't actually, if your body actually requires weight training, you won't receive the awareness because you've excluded that choice from your universe. And so this year I've really started to look at how many things I've excluded from my universe. And I see people do this a lot because I facilitate body classes. And it's a body class, it's a 3-day body class you can take. It's an Access consciousness class, and where you receive body processes for 3 days. It's absolutely beautiful. It's such a gift to your body to lay down at a table for 3 days and receive these body processes. However, what I see people do is they make it the answer. And they decide, okay, this is what works. The body classes is what works. The body process is what works. And then they exclude everything else from their body, from their universe for their body. They won't look at receiving any other type of energy work, or they won't look at receiving any other maybe different, something different for their body. Or what they'll do is they decide this is the solution. And someone might say, like, I've literally gotten messages from people going, I have cancer, can you give me a clearing? And I'm like, yeah, I can ask you a question, and it's gonna require a lot more than that, you know? And it's like, where are you looking for, like, the one thing that's going to be your thing, instead of looking at everything is included? And coming back to wholeness is like, okay, what does my body require physically? What does my body require energetically? What does my body require environmentally? Like, where am I living? Does that support my body? Who am I spending time with? Does that support my body? What foods am I eating? Do they support my body? What foods have I excluded that I don't no longer include in my world? And so I really started to look at, wow, I've excluded a lot of things. And so when I go to ask a question like, body, what do you require today? Or body, what's going to support you? I have such a limited universe of the awareness I can receive if I've excluded half of the universe. And the minute I decide I like this and I don't like this, I'm doing exclusion. And so what if it wasn't about, like, okay, I found, because I get we all do it, right? We start doing yoga and we're like, oh my God, I love yoga. And you're like, I just want to go to yoga every day. Or you find getting your bars run. You're like, oh my God, I love getting my bars run. I just want to do it every day. And then you start excluding everything else that isn't that. Like for me, I excluded all other movement that wasn't yoga or that wasn't dance, because I decided these are the things I liked. But what if my body wants to go cycling? Or what if my body wants to climb a mountain? Or what if my body wants to run? Do I allow myself have that awareness if I've already concluded these are the things I like and these are the only things I want to do? And so I really started to look at, like, if I want to be strong physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, I have to include everything. And I actually need a support network. I need support in all areas. And so I was doing this workshop in Mount Shasta out in nature, which is like an energy vortex in Northern California. It's incredible. And it was, I was teaching a talk to the entities class there, and we rented an Airbnb. And Karla Lightfoot, who some of you might know, is a friend of mine, and she is also like facilitates movement, and she's incredible with bodies. And in the morning, we asked her to like do a movement class. So we woke up in the morning, she facilitated this beautiful sensual movement class that like got our bodies moving first thing in the morning. And then from there, we went in and we had water that we got from the natural spring in Mount Shasta. And it was like purest, cleanest water. And then we had like breakfast. It was like granola and fruit from like the Whole Foods shop there. And then we like began the class, and we like had a lot of really amazing conversations about consciousness. And then we got to lunch, and then we went out, and we went out in nature, and we went on these hikes. And then we came back, and we had like this like beautiful like dinner with like lentil soup and like salad, and I was just like, I felt so nurtured. And I turned around to Karla and I was like, this is the world I want to live in. Like, this is the reality I want to have, like every day. This world where everything is nurtured. Like, we got body work, we got our bars run, we had the energy work, but we also had the food nurturing us, and we also had the movement, and we also had the nature, and we also had us supporting each other, that we weren't judging each other, we were supporting each other and being an energy for each other. And I was like, this is it. Like, this is the world I want to have. And so back to wholeness with your body is really looking at like, what supports you? Like, if you were to include everything in your life and not exclude anything, then you actually have a full menu to choose from. So my first question for us all to look at, and you can write these down if you want, is get really honest with yourself for a second and just look at, okay, what have you excluded from your world? And I'm just going to give you one example for me, because this one came up today. I had excluded talk therapy. When I started doing energy work, I decided talk therapy was a waste of time. I actually probably decided it a long time ago, and that I didn't need talk therapy, and everything was through the body, and everything was energy, and I can heal everything through the body and through energy. Yes, that is true. And recently I opened up to, I actually need a therapist. I need to go to a psychotherapist and talk to someone about some things that were coming up for me. And today, and I got a therapist earlier on in the year, and she was okay. She wasn't probably for me. And recently I just opened up to it again, because that also proved my point of view, right? I had a therapist that really wasn't that good. So then I was like, yeah, I don't need it. And I opened up to it again, included it in my universe. And so today I started with another person, another therapist, someone who's more suited for me. And it brought up a lot of stuff for me. And I got to look at, wow, I had really excluded this from my world because I had decided this doesn't work. And so that's just one example for me. So how many things in your world have you excluded from your world because some time ago you decided this isn't for you or this doesn't work? And maybe just like take a moment and look at that. And if any of you want to type anything that's coming up for you. So what have you excluded? And it could be physically, it could be like different types of movement or exercise that you've decided, I don't like that, or I'd never do that. It could be like for me, talk therapy, psychotherapy. It could be food that you've decided, oh, or maybe it's like you've decided, I don't like cleanses, or I don't like, or maybe it's supplements, like you've decided, like, I don't like taking supplements, I don't like this, I don't like acupuncture, like, and it doesn't mean you have to go out and then do all these things. It just means like, have you excluded things from your universe and from you having the choice to choose them? Whew. Wow. Hmm. Does anyone have anything that's coming up that they've excluded that they want to share? Yeah, Gustavo says, I got money. Yeah, it could even be like different ways of making money where you decided, yeah, I don't want to make money that way. Have you excluded people from your universe? Wow, someone said I excluded going out for a walk. Yeah, that reminded me too. I excluded like being still, like meditating or just like doing nothing. Like that wasn't part of my universe. Like I didn't get the choice to do nothing. Not allowing myself to have beautiful things. Wow. Okay, I excluded exercise. Yeah, what forms of movement have you excluded? What different therapies have you excluded? Friends, family? What family members have you excluded from your universe? So we don't even realize how much we create this distance between us and other people, or us and money, or us and the movement, because we come to some judgment about it. And then we create, the minute you have a judgment, you create distance. So if there's like, say, old friends from my childhood who I'm like, yeah, they're not into all the stuff I'm into, I'm so different. Judgment, distance, right away. So then I'm not going to include them in my universe. And then I'm not going to be included in theirs because I've already excluded them. So, okay. So as you get a sense of all the things, and you, right now, you might not have a cognitive sense of all the things you've excluded, but the fact that you're asking here, you're on this call, you're asking the questions, you're opening up to asking, okay, what have I excluded? And get the energy right now. So ask to receive the energetic download of all the things that you've excluded from your universe that you didn't even really cognitively know that you excluded. Oh, wow. And now ask to receive how many things have you energetically been judging that you've distanced yourself from, that you have not allowed yourself to include? Oh, wow. And now, would you be willing to actually, right now, just like this, 10-second increments, choose to include everything in your universe right now? So it's like we're energetically reintroducing everything back to us. All the people you've distanced yourself from, all the therapies you've decided don't work and you don't need them, all the food, all the exercise, all the movement, all the different ways of making money and receiving money, like all of it. Maybe even like places you've decided you don't want to go or you don't like, oh, I don't like Ireland, and then you distance yourself from Ireland, or Spain or wherever it is in the world you've decided you don't like all of that, reintroduce it back to you. Oh, wow. Okay, so now allowing yourself to include everyone and everything in the universe and allowing your body to have access to everyone and everything. Everyone's included. Everything's included. Every body of work, every energy modality, every food, every movement, every person, every family member, every place on the earth is included. All the energies. Wow, okay. And now if you were to look at your body and see it as this organism that can receive from everyone and everything, what would nourish your body? Number one, physically. So right now, ask your body, what would allow us to become physically whole, well, strong? What would nourish us physically? And maybe you want to write down what comes up or just take a mental note of it. And maybe physically is like going to the dentist, seeing a doctor, like getting your bloods checked, getting your hormones checked. Like maybe there's things like that that you haven't actually been hearing that your body requires. Someone said water. Yeah, is there liquids you require? Is there a cleanse that your body's asking for? Is there a detox? Is there supplements? Is there different foods? And then you can ask your body in the coming days, body, show me what you require physically that would nourish you. Okay, so then moving on from the physical, is there something that would support you mentally? So what would help and support you, your mind, right, mentally? For me, it's like reading new books, educating myself really helps my mind, gives it like a job to do. Getting your bars run is really good for your mind if you get a lot of racing thoughts. Talk therapy has been good for me. Actually, what helps me mentally too is when I write. Journaling really helps me because it helps me process the thoughts. Yeah, someone said conversation with friends and discussions about topics that you love. Yeah, that's what, like, that's why, like, educating yourself, like doing new courses, getting new information, reading new books, like that really supports you mentally because it's actually giving your mind a job to do. And if your mind doesn't have a job, it gets bored and then it creates problems. So if you actually can keep your mind busy with new information, you're actually keeping your brain very active, and that's really good. You know, that's like old people start to decline when they don't use their brain, when they're not using their mind anymore. They're not training their brain. So does your brain need some training? And what can support your brain so that your mind doesn't drive you crazy? Okay. So then emotionally, what would nourish you and support you emotionally? If you're an emotional person, you get a lot of emotions, like what can support you and your body in that? So for me, like movement really supports me. It helps me move emotions so they don't get stuck in my body. And being in nature, being out in the ocean really supports me emotionally. Writing as well. Okay, so what supports you? Oh, sorry. Somebody said seeing the sea every morning and evening. Yeah, that's amazing because water is actually like our emotions are connected to water. So if you are very emotional, getting near water is really good. Like swimming in water, going for a bath, Epsom salt baths, being in the ocean, being around water helps your emotions move. Emotions are energy, but what happens is that we repress so much emotions that we end up they end up being stuck, like they end up becoming like these stuck energies. So like the ocean, if you're going through a lot of grief, the ocean will literally like pull the grief out of your body, because the ocean has the ability to mutate emotions. It's just taking it as energy and mutating it. So for eons, the water has been associated with, right? Cleansing, new life, birth, um, and death. So it's like being around water when you have a lot of emotions coming up can be very nurturing. Also, drinking lots of water, hydrating, cleansing, and sweating can really help. Okay, so what would support you spiritually in nourishing your body? So, what supports you in keeping your spirit alive, in keeping your spirits up, in making your being feel nurtured, your soul, whatever it is you want to call it, spirit, soul, what keeps you well in your spirit? Yeah, someone said talking to God every day, talking to my guardian angels. I love that. Yeah, I got angel cards when I was 16, and I've had angel cards ever since. Like if you come to my apartment, like there's cards everywhere. I have angel cards, goddess cards, fairy cards. And there's something about them that just really like they lift my spirit up, and support me. I love talking to Mother Mary. I've talked to her and prayed to her since I've been young, and I've kept her very close to me. Um, so yeah, when I get down, like those things really lift my spirits. Okay, next one, energetically. What supports you energetically? What supports your body energetically? So when your energy gets low, when you start to feel stuck, stagnant, like you're not inspired, you can't get anything going or can't get your energy moving, what nourishes you? What supports you energetically? And I wonder also, as we ask these questions, what else can support us that we haven't considered yet? One of probably my favorite processes when my energy gets down is getting my bars run. That one mainly for crankiness and irritability, and when I feel like I have no space. But when I feel really uninspired, the Access energetic facelift has supported me a lot in changing that. What else? What else supports you energetically? It supports your body energetically. Someone said going into silence, connecting with their gods. I also love acupuncture, massage. What else? And I really wonder, like, yeah, like what else, body? Show me what else you're looking for that I haven't even considered yet. Body, show me what you would like for us to include. And what have I not allowed into my universe because of my judgments? That if I let go of any judgments I have, energetic or other, now would allow my body to show me what can support me energetically, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay, and then environmentally. So like when I talk about environment, I guess I'm looking at like the spaces, like what kind of house like do you like to live in? Do you want to be, does it nurture you to live in an apartment or a house, or do you want to be out near the beach, or do you want to be near the forestry? Like what spaces nourish you and nourish your body? Yeah, someone said I'd like to live in a house with trees and roses. I actually am so lucky. My parents live in Ireland and there's trees all around our house, and my mother has like wild red roses and yellow roses growing right at our door, like at the side of our house. So what would it be like if you actually went and like, even if you didn't own a house, you can go, I know you can like rent these like plots of land in different places where they're just like allotments, and you can like plant your own fruit and vegetables or maybe grow your own roses. It's actually not that hard to grow roses. They grow pretty wildly by themselves. You just plant the seeds. Um, so as you're tapping into like the energy that of nature that would support you, even if like say for me it's like, okay, I would like to be in the forestry and in the mountains a couple of times every month. However, I live in Florida, which is flat. Now I'm lucky enough to travel, so I can go places where there's mountains. But if I'm not traveling, then I don't really have access to the mountains. But I can still go find a natural preserve here with lots of trees and get the energy there. So even if you don't live around the landscape your body really would like sometimes, how can you bring it to you? Can you plant roses in your garden? Can you bring some plants into your apartment? Can you bring nature to you? and what plants, what flowers, what nature supports your body. Whew, wow. And then let's look at nutritionally. So is there anything with nutrition that your body is looking for you to include? So what is your body looking for that would support it nutritionally? Is there food? Is there liquids that your body requires or that would support you? So someone said tea. So then it's like, okay, body, what type of tea? Is it caffeinated, uncaffeinated, herbal, plant tea? Like, show me. And then who are the people that can support you and your body? Who are the people when you're around them, they add to your life and they add to your body? Can you start to create a support system for you and your body? And that's what I said at the beginning, is that's what I started to look at this year. It's like, I require to create a support system for me to become strong in all areas of my life. And becoming strong in all areas of my life doesn't mean I have it all figured out. It actually means everyone is included. And I get to create this, it's like this ecosystem around me where I'm supported in all areas, physically, energetically, with relationships, with everything. And so, what if there's not one answer? There's not one remedy for you. What if everything could be a remedy? And if we include it all, now everything becomes a choice. So if you'd like to have more supportive people around you, ask for it. And everything begins with you. So if you're not willing to support yourself, then it's going to be very hard to create supportive people around you. You have to start honoring and caring for you first. And as you honor and care for you, then everything else starts falling into place. Like if you don't care about you, you're probably not going to eat well. If you don't care about you, you're probably not going to go and do movement. And if you don't care about you, then you're probably not going to pull in kind and caring people to you because you don't care about you. So it has to always come back to you. So what would it take for you to have as much kindness and caring for you that you have for other people? And if you truly cared for you and your body, and if caring for you and your body was your top priority, oh, how different would your life be? And what would you choose? What choices would become available to you if you were a priority and your body was a priority? Okay. I think that's it for today, guys. Yeah, I think caring for myself right now is realizing I'm tired. I'm going to go for a bath. I'm going to turn my electronics off, and I'm going to actually just nurture me for the rest of the evening. And I know some of you, you know, are married and you have kids, and you might not always be able to do that. But like, what if it just begins with small things too? You know, like it might even be like that commitment to, okay, let me turn my phone off, you know, or let me get to bed a little bit earlier tonight. And let me, you know, put a face mask on, like whatever it is. It may be just small things, but like all those small things add up. And so honoring yourself and taking care of yourself first. And when you are full and you're filled up, it's so much easier to be able to gift to other people. But if you're trying to give to other people and you're not gifting to yourself first, it's really hard. So whatever you're choosing in your life, what if really the number one priority is this kind and caring for me? And if it is, then it's actually going to be kind and caring for other people. So thank you guys. I am going to be doing a 3-day body class. If any of you are looking for a 3-day body class in New York, in 2 weeks' time, September the 8th to the 10th. And then I have a membership actually starting in October. We don't have it up yet, but we'll probably send the information in the follow-up email. So yeah, if any of you have any questions about your body or supporting your body or anything at all, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to support you in your journey of coming back to wholeness with embodiment. Let me post the New York class down here. Oh, and we are going to be doing a movement class in New York as well. So if any of you want to come for some embodiment, what you're getting your body moving. Thanks. Tara said, come to the ranch. Yes. What would it take for a class in nature with the horses? Who would like to have a class in Florida under a tiki hut with the horses in nature? Let us know. We have the people. If you have the people, I will come. So, all right, guys. Thank you so much. Ileana, thank you. You're so sweet. And it was so beautiful to see you. Thanks, Tara. Thanks, Denora. And I'll see some of you all soon.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.